If you thought Bronny James was the next big thing in basketball, think again, because this isn't your expected story. He has been under the spotlight since day one, the son of LeBron James, one of the greatest players ever to grace the NBA. But here's the question: is Bronny's name more valuable than his game? Let's explore why Bronny James might be heading for a major decline. To fully understand Bronny's journey, we need to start from the beginning. Let's go back to when he was a young player at Sierra Canyon when he first gained recognition. Bronny displayed his abilities under the bright lights of Los Angeles, attracting attention and making headlines. He had times when he really excelled in every game. However, for the moments of genius, there were early indications that the road ahead would not be as straightforward as many thought. Moving from the high school stage to the collegiate level, Bronny took his talents to USC. Here, the pressure and the glare increased. Everyone wanted to see LeBron James Jr. thrive because he was no longer simply Bronny. The pressure increased as he joined a league full of ambitious players who were all pursuing the same goal. Could Bronny rise to the occasion? One of the biggest issues during his time at USC was his lack of a consistent shot. Sometimes he would play really well and make lots of great shots, but other times he couldn't even make easy shots. For a player who dreams of making a name in the NBA, that inconsistency is a massive red flag. The NBA is a league where shooters thrive, and if Bronny can't develop a reliable shot, he's going to struggle to stay relevant. Defensively, things weren't any easier for him. At USC, Bronny often found himself struggling to keep up with the quicker, more agile players. Imagine trying to guard some of the fastest and most skilled athletes in the world when your defensive skills aren't sharp enough. This isn't just a skill gap, and it's a potential career-ending flaw. Defense is crucial in the NBA, and if Bronny can't hold his own, he risks becoming a liability on the court. His opponents will exploit that weakness, and in a league as unforgiving as the NBA, weaknesses are fatal. And then there's his decision-making. Throughout his time at USC, there were numerous instances where he made questionable decisions in court. He'd force a shot that wasn't there or turn the ball over in a high-pressure moment, making fans and coaches question his basketball IQ. In the NBA, split-second decisions often determine the outcome of games. If Bronny lacks that awareness and sharpness, it's hard to see him thriving at the next level. For someone who's supposed to be the game's future, this is a serious concern that can't be ignored, but the issues didn't end there. Bronny's career so far has been built as much on hype and media frenzy as on actual accomplishments. He's one of those rare cases where someone makes it to the pros based more on potential and his last name than on proven skill. When I look at Bronny's so-called career, it's littered with stumbles and falls a flop at USC, a flop in the summer league, a flop in the preseason, and, based on current trends, a flop in the actual NBA. He averaged just 4.8 points per game on 36.6% shooting during his lone year at USC, and that's hardly promising. Take the Las Vegas Summer League, for instance. Despite the expectations and fanfare, Bronny barely made an impact, averaging only 8.8 points on a disappointing 35.0% shooting. It wasn't the stellar performance everyone had been hoping for. The reality is that Bronny didn't look prepared. Now, I'll give him some grace. He had a cardiac incident during his USC practice. This was a significant setback, and it deserves sympathy. His unexpected return to the court was nothing short of remarkable, but it's clear that his play since then has been lackluster at best. His heart may be in the game, but his skills tell a different story. It might have only been a preseason game, but one night was historic for the Lakers and Suns. LeBron and Bronny James took the court together, marking the first time a father-son duo has played for an NBA team. As the second quarter started, the Acrisure Arena crowd in Palm Desert cheered as Bronny took to the court. It was his 20th birthday, and he was playing alongside his 39-year-old father, a superstar. LeBron scored 19 points in the first half, outplaying Kevin Durant and Devin Booker before sitting out. Bronny, however, ended the game with 0 points and 2 rebounds in his 13-minute stint. It was a dream moment for the James family, but the performance was a harsh wake-up call. The Lakers ultimately lost to the Phoenix Suns 118-114. Bronny's struggles continued in subsequent preseason games. In their third game against the Bucks, Bronny played only 6 minutes and went 0 for 4 on shooting. He missed all 3 of his 3-point attempts and ended up with a -12 rating. Being a -12 in just 6 minutes, that's almost an anti-accomplishment. Adding up his plus-minus over 3 games, he totals -40 in 35 minutes, making him the worst on the Lakers roster and in the NBA by a significant margin. And then, we have figures like Stephen A. Smith attempting to justify Bronny's position, saying, "LeBron has earned this, not Bronny." But even in defending him, Stephen A. inadvertently emphasizes that LeBron's accomplishments not Bronny's, are being celebrated. This reinforces the idea that Bronny is being given opportunities that, based on merit, he might not deserve. Imagine the pressure of being 19 years old, knowing the world expects you to live up to the legacy of a 4-time NBA champion, Finals MVP, and a player widely regarded as one of the greatest of all time. That's a weight that would crush even the strongest of players. Bronny has shown resilience, but it's clear that he's feeling the strain. LeBron often attends his games, cheering him on and sharing words of encouragement on social media. But at the end of the day, LeBron can't play for him. This is Bronny's journey, and he's got to navigate it alone. LeBron's influence might have gotten him into the league, but it won't keep him there. Bronny has to prove he's more than just a name. He has the talent and drive to make it on his own. However, based on his recent performances, it's hard to see how he can live up to those lofty expectations. There's no denying Bronny has some skill, but is it enough? LeBron casts a long shadow, and Bronny has to work twice as hard to escape it. The NBA is full of players with both drive and talent, but only a select few make it to the top. Right now, Bronny's future in the league looks uncertain, and his name might not be enough to secure his spot. At one point, Finals MVP Jaylen Brown expressed what many are thinking. Honestly, I don't think Bronny is a pro. This sentiment has resonated with fans who also question Bronny's readiness. They hoped his defensive skills would emerge over time, but as the season draws near, Bronny's decline seems to have progressed rather than receded. At one point, Finals MVP Jaylen Brown was caught on camera saying that he didn't believe Bronny was pro material. Honestly, I don't think Bronny is a pro, Jaylen Brown stated. This resonated with many who doubted Bronny's readiness. Some fans were willing to be patient, hoping his defensive skills and high basketball IQ would emerge in time. But with the preseason underway and the regular season around the corner, it looks like Bronny may have regressed even further. It shouldn't be surprising that Bronny has struggled in his first 3 preseason games with the Lakers. The preseason stats for the 2024-25 season reveal some alarming areas of concern. Over 3 games, he averaged just 0.7 points per game with a field goal percentage of 9.1% and no free throw attempts. His advanced stats are equally concerning, with a minus 53.8 net rating and a player impact estimate, PIE, of minus 7.4. Defensively, he has a rating of 120.5, which suggests he is struggling to make a positive impact on the court. Despite getting playing time, his performance so far hasn't proven he belongs in the NBA draft. The media, meanwhile, continues to present Bronny and LeBron as a package deal. But that's a deeply flawed stance. Just because you're LeBron James' son doesn't mean you're ready to be an NBA player. Bronny was below average in college, struggled in the summer league, and faltered in the preseason. If he weren't LeBron's son, he'd probably be playing overseas right now, maybe in Italy as a 6th man. However, Bronny earned praise from a great defender, Anthony Davis, on Spectrum Sportsnet's post-game show. He's also still learning, Davis said. He's still trying to figure everything out. We have to realize that. But every time Bronny plays poorly, the same excuses arise. He'll get better, he just needs time. Yet time and again, he underperforms. It's becoming painfully clear that this entire setup may be more about maintaining LeBron's legacy than Bronny's actual NBA readiness. Some might argue he's just getting started and that he needs time to find his footing, but in the NBA, time is a luxury that most players don't have. The league demands immediate results, and if Bronny can't deliver, he risks becoming just another name on the long list of players who never quite made it. Professional sports are supposed to be a meritocracy where only top talent survives. Yet here we are with Bronny James, who was drafted and rewarded with a 4-year contract worth nearly $8 million annually from one of the NBA's most storied franchises. This kind of privilege raises eyebrows, particularly for a player who might not be worthy of a spot on the roster. So, where does Bronny go from here? If things don't change fast, the NBA might not be in the future. Even if LeBron's history looms large, it cannot permanently protect him from the challenges that lie ahead. Bronny needs to either step forward or back off. His potential is indisputable, and it seemed like he would live up to expectations during his brilliant moments. However, those moments are few and far between. Since only the greatest make it in the NBA, he will lag behind if he doesn't elevate his game. He will need to put in a lot of work to reach the level that is expected of him. He needs to improve his shooting, defense, and decision-making if he wants to have a shot at making it in the league, and that won't be easy. The NBA is a tough league, and only the strongest survive, but perhaps the biggest challenge he faces is stepping out of his father's shadow. LeBron has been a dominant force for years, and Bronny is expected to follow in his footsteps. But that's a tall order, and it's unclear if he has what it takes to do it. The pressure is on, and the clock is ticking. If he wants to make it in the NBA, he must prove he's more than just a name. He has to show that he has the talent and the drive to succeed independently, and that's no easy feat. Only time will tell if Bronny has what it takes to make it in the NBA. He will have to work hard and prove himself if he wants to have a shot at living up to James's name, but based on his recent performances, it's hard to see how he can do it. He has a long way to go, and the road ahead is full of obstacles. The decline seems inevitable, but what do you think? Can Bronny overcome the odds and prove his critics wrong, or is this the beginning of a fall from grace for the James legacy? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of sports.